in reality, there's no purpose. There's no purpose. There's nothing to do. Nothing you have to do. And this can sound kind of nihilistic and frightening, but it's only nihilistic and frightening to the self that has a purpose, right? You see, purpose is dependent on self, and you could even say self is dependent on purpose. They codependently arise, and you know, it doesn't seem like you can have one without the other. You know, even if your purpose is to be this master meditator where you're always present, you know, that's still a purpose that the self or the ego has. So see, when you start to get into meditation and spirituality, the ego becomes very subtle because it's you know, it's no longer an easy thing like, oh, the ego wants this or that. Like it's like yeah, like with when you start getting into meditation and spirituality, the ego hijacks and claims ownership over this sort of existence, the kind of natural state, and the just awareness itself, aliveness, right? Anyway, so it can sound quite pessimistic and nihilistic that there's no purpose, but it's the most freeing thing. It's the most liberating thing, and ultimately, it's what we're all looking for. It's 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 a good thing that there is no purpose because there's nothing that we have to prove to ourselves or other people. There's nothing that we have to do to feel adequate or good enough or worthy. Um, and it means you can just play. It means you can play, you know. I mean, like you can look at it as like there is a purpose, and the purpose is for reality to play with itself, which is who you are at the deepest level. So you're just playing with yourself, or um, loving yourself. Reality is just loving itself. But again, if you know, if the ego claims ownership over this purpose, then it's not true. You have to actually let go of all purpose genuinely to see that all that's left is to just play and love. You know, the that Alan Watts quote of I don't remember it exactly, but it's something like, you know, people are trying to search for the meaning of life, the purpose of life, when it's so simple. It's just to be alive. The purpose of life is to just be. It's just to be alive, just to exist, just because, to experience. But anyway, that's not really a purpose, is it? Not in the kind of way we think about it. um, a good indicator for um, for knowing whether or not you have a purpose is your body. If you check in with your body tells you if you have a purpose. If you, yeah, your body tells you what you're trying to go after and what you're trying to push away. The tension in your body, the kind of fidgety energy, the restless energy. Because the self kind of exists in the body as as energy. Um, I mean, there are thoughts as well, but if the thoughts are cut off, if you yeah, if the thoughts are dissected from feelings in the body, then the thoughts are just husks. They're just dead bits. They're just carcasses. They're just and they may have momentum, but if you dissolve the kind of if you dissolve that energy in your body, the thoughts that were previously attached to these sensations will eventually fade away over time. I mean, ultimately, it's one system. Thoughts and body is the same thing. But I mean, it's quite clear to see that um, that this kind of sense of purpose, this sense of feeling like you have to do something, feeling like you have to be somebody, that kind of sense, it's quite clear to see that it exists in the body simply if you just sit down and try not to do anything. Just do nothing. Sit down and do nothing. Sit down and just be. Sit down and just let everything be as it is. It's quite evident after not that long that you'll see that this energy in your body wants to do something, wants to get somewhere, or wants to push something away. You might just sit down and try and let everything be as it is and do nothing. And this kind of energy in your body paired with the thoughts in your head is constantly saying like, what the fuck am I doing? This is pointless, this is stupid, I should be doing something productive. I should be doing something worthwhile. I should be doing something that's helping myself and the world. I should be, and there's this problem in my life. I've got to be solving this problem. I've got to be doing something. I can't. What am I doing? Just sitting here like an idiot. This is stupid. You know. Um, and of course, if you allow that to be, if you allow that energy paired with the thoughts, if you allow those things to be, you'll see that those things are arising within existence itself. Those things are arising within this aliveness, within awareness, whatever fucking word you want to call it. Awareness, consciousness, aliveness, stillness, existence, reality, isness. I mean, the fact is that there is something, right? There is existence. Existence exists. That you know for certain. Existence exists. Whatever it is, you do know that existence exists. Anyway, so these thoughts and feelings are arising within that, within reality, within aliveness. And, that aliveness, that existence has no purpose. That has it just is, and any sense of meaning that you have is created by this body mind system. It's created by this organism. And we think we're smart, we think we're important and knowledgeable and significant, but where's the evidence for that? Self-importance is self-created. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to recognize that you are not it's very difficult to recognize that you're not who you think you are and who you feel yourself to be. Who you think you are and who you feel yourself to be, who you feel that you are, exists within who you actually are. I mean, there is no self. It's very difficult, very tricky, slippery. Because as soon as identification drops away for a second, it latches on to some other object in awareness or experience or existence. It's very slippery, it's very tricky. As soon as you think that you've dropped identification, it fucking latches on to something else. And then you've got to recognize that. But even the process of identification is happening on its own. You see, you're not in control of anything. Everything's happening by itself. Even the desire to awaken, even the desire to meditate, the intention to follow your breath is happening on its own. The intention to train your attention is happening on its own. The point of meditation is to disembed from every phenomena that is in your field of experience. Every single object, including thoughts and intentions and all this kind of stuff, you know. Your sense of time and space. You're emptying out the self. You're basically giving up control. And you never had control in the first place. Basically, you're giving up, you're letting go of the belief that you have control. You're letting go of the illusion of control. And basically, it's kind of like you're stepping back and back and back and back and back to infinity. Right? You know, you keep disembedding, you keep disidentifying. And there are more subtle layers, you know, that's the hard part. There's also subtleties, like intentions, like a quick intention to say, open a door, right? To open a door, walk through it, greet someone, and talk to someone. All these intentions and the very actions of turning that door handle, the very actions of speaking to this person, all that, what you're doing if you want to awaken, what you're doing basically is emptying out that sense of doership, of agency. And so you're no longer the one that's opening the door, walking through it. You're no longer the one that's coming up with these ideas and speaking and talking to this person and listening to this person. That's all happening on its own accord. You're, so to speak, watching a movie, sitting at the back seat, right? Instead of being in the movie, having this sense of agency and free will of like, I have got to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm doing this thing. Instead of doing that, you're sitting at the back row watching yourself do this, right? It's not yourself, but it's watching, it's just watching this, right? But even the sense of watching, even the watcher has to be emptied out of the self. The self that exists within the watcher has to be seen through. Because, I mean, there's no such thing as the watcher. There's no such thing as an observer. There's no such thing as a separate awareness, a separate observer, a separate witness. In a sense, it seems that all phenomena is infused with awareness, with observation. It's not like you're a separate observer observing some object, because that's, you know, the point of awakening is to deconstruct the illusion of duality. And if you identify as the witness, as a separate observer, then there's still this subject object duality, and basically to awaken and breaking this duality. Um, I'm talking about all this shit. It's very tricky. I'm very interested in this kind of shit. But it's very hard to realize this experientially. I'm talking about this intellectually, and I've had glimpses and shit. But basically, I kind of get the gist of what this shit is about. Fucking weird as it sounds, it makes sense, and you can experience this for yourself. But anyway, so it's like every phenomena is aware of it, is aware of itself, is infused with awareness, or existence, or aliveness. I think awareness or consciousness has connotations that that's that's us. When we hear the word consciousness and awareness, it's kind of like, yes, that's me. Like, who I truly am is consciousness. But maybe a better word would be aliveness or existence. I mean, it's quite obvious that every phenomena is infused with existence. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. Do you know what I mean? It's like this glass, right? This glass. So yeah, what I'm saying is, like, this glass is infused with existence, is infused with aliveness. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't be in my hands right now. Do you know what I mean? It's made up of existence, so to speak. This glass is made up. The fundamental structure of this glass is existence, is aliveness, is isness. Right? So you could say awareness. This glass is made up of awareness. It's not like a separate observer witnessing the glass. It's just that this glass exists on its own. This glass is infused with awareness. You see, because the idea that you're a separate witness or observer, the idea that you are awareness looking out at the world, is an idea. It's just another cluster of, like, thoughts and ideas, and which are themselves arising on their own accord, made up of and infused with existence, with consciousness. Because we think that we are the thinker. We think we think we are thoughts, or we think that we have thoughts, or that we think that we create thoughts. But all those perspectives are themselves thoughts which are arising by themselves. I don't know, man. This is fucking tricky. Ultimately, what it takes, I think, is a lot of meditation and a yearning desire to find out who you actually are and what and to find out the true nature of existence. Find out the true nature of phenomena, of sensations. And I think you can do it. You can do it. You know, a lot of people think like you can't just fucking find out what God is. You can't just find out what existence is, what reality is. Like, you think you're that fucking special that you can know what existence is, but it's like anyone can know what existence is because existence exists. It's right in front of you. I mean, like, there's no way in hell that we're ever gonna know if we're, say, in a simulation that a god has created, or, there's no way we're gonna know what the fuck this universe is or how it was created. But what we do know is that there's something rather than nothing, and that's really that's really all you need to know. Like, everything else is details. Everything else is irrelevant. Existence exists, and that's the true nature of reality. I don't know if I'm still talking about, but yeah, just some thoughts.